as we were live, and she shared very valuable information. Can you hear us now, Doctor?
Jazakallah, I can. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it was on my side, but if you fixed it, then maybe it was on your side.
Alhamdulillah, as long as it's resolved, Alhamdulillah. Last week, you shared with us a wealth of information about fertility and how you go about with various things. And of course, saying that there is hope, couples have the resources that are available, Alhamdulillah. Maybe today you can just share with us some of the factors that you consider or to be considered when choosing a fertility treatment, also some of the side effects, and as well as the success rates that you've witnessed.
Okay, Bismillah. Well, I guide my tongue so I can give them useful information and they can understand what I have to say. Shortened version of the dua. Okay, Bismillah. So there are different types of fertility treatment, and they're chosen according to what the patient's criteria are. Does a woman have an ovulation problem? Does a man have a sperm problem? Is there a tube issue? There's also a question of how soon one needs to do the treatment if the woman is older. So if there's a time factor that is affecting quality of egg, and there can also be a time factor affecting the quality of sperm. So depending on which treatment we choose, depending on those parameters, we choose a treatment for you. The question leaves me with a little bit of leeway as to what to discuss. And all of them need a lot of discussion, so I'll briefly go into each one. So I'll say to you, for instance, if you have a condition, an ovulatory problem, so women who have irregular periods then have difficulty conceiving because your period is regular if you ovulate. And if you don't ovulate, which means release an egg into the tube, the system is not timed. So the way Allah Ta'ala has created us, hormones cause the eggs to develop. They reach a particular size, then they release into the tube, and they wait a certain fixed number of days to get a signal of pregnancy or not of pregnancy. So if you have regular periods, all of that is happening like clockwork. The right hormones are telling the egg to grow, the egg is releasing on time, the egg is waiting in the tube for 14 days, and then you have a period. So if you have irregular periods, it means that you have a problem with ovulation and your egg is not doing what it's supposed to do and is not available to the sperm. Then we have to do ovulation induction treatments. And one of the common causes of irregular periods and lack of ovulation is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which exists in our community because we carry high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. So it's called metabolic syndrome. So it's the younger version of the diabetes and the whole triad of cholesterol and high blood pressure. People fear it. It's stigmatized. People read a lot about it. But it's purely a hormonal imbalance. It's a fancy name for a hormonal imbalance. All it means is your hormones are not allowing that system to play out as I explained it should play out. So we need to correct the hormones with Allah's qudrat and the knowledge He's given us. And the correction of the hormones, inshallah, facilitates that the egg is available to the sperm. And alhamdulillah, pregnancies do occur because He gives permission for that. But patients get very worried about not being able to fall pregnant ever. And so I'm always saying to them, do you think that polycystic ovarian syndrome, or like I said last week, a sperm factor is going to hold Allah's hand back? So you should have faith that He's directing you to go to the place of knowledge and to put yourself into, to exert your own intellect as well. Because those people are often overweight. They often don't eat correctly. They often have not exercised well. So we then to say to them, look, I don't have a magic wand. Even if I correct the hormonal imbalance, I'm not going to be able to make you a baby. So we're all here invested in the same program. So you have to do your best. Because again, like I said last week, you can't say, Allah, do 500%, but I'm not willing to stop eating the cake that I like and drink the Coke that I like and not exercise. Exercising is hard. We are not a community that's brought up with exercising, and we should be doing that. So Allah designed our bodies to walk the plains and gather our food, so we're not meant to be slouching in the couch and driving from place to place and eating the way we do. So we have to correct our eating habits and drink more fluid, and then get the weight down, because in that scenario, weight is a very important issue, and we should fix that up. So I might be going off in a different direction, but in terms of the different treatments, they involve what we can do with medicine, but they also can involve what you're going to bring to the table as well. And a lot of the time you need to bring good things to the table, because if I might tell you in terms of success rates and natural pregnancy rates, I've gone a little ahead, but I'll come back as well, is that even at 25, human beings have got what we call a cumulative pregnancy rate. And that means everybody must try for 6 to 8 months to fall pregnant. Because in that time, on a scientific level, all you're doing is getting egg and sperm in the same place at the same time. So if this woman is ovulating and she doesn't have an ovulation problem, if she can time when her ovulation is going to be, and she and her husband are able to be together at that time, because sometimes men are traveling, sometimes women don't know their ovulation date, and sometimes, can I please say that performance factors on the men's side can also make that they don't get together at the right time. So if you get that right, if you're ovulating and you put everything in your favor, you only have a 25% chance of falling pregnant, and that's in a 25-year-old. So a 25-year-old at that point of that cycle has a 25% chance of falling pregnant. That's why we have to do the same thing over and over again. That means for 6 to 8 months, you must get everything right and have that 25% in your favor, because at some point, sperm and egg are going to join. It's like meeting somebody at a bus stop. You see them first, second, third time, you don't say hello, but at some point you're going to say hello. So we do have to create the same favorable environment over and over again. When Allah wants, it's 100%. I'm not talking about that. Scientifically, it's 25%. So when you're not 25 and you're 35 and your husband may have a sperm factor, then what is your percentage per month? Not 25, 20, 15, 5, I don't know. So if you can bring in 0.002% of any positive, please bring it in, because we need it all. So then sleeping half an hour earlier, drinking more water, all of that brings it in. So when we do fertility treatments, alhamdulillah, the IVF, for instance, has a 40% fertility success rate. So take-home baby rate, actually. So people say, what, I'm paying so much money, and I thought you had such a fancy program. It's not 100%, it's not even 50%. I'm saying, no, we are taking you with Allah's grace and mercy and the knowledge He's given us from 5 to 40. We are not bringing you down from 100 to 40. You were never 100. Because with whatever factors are against you, you might be sitting at 5, and subhanAllah, we can take that to 40 with Allah's grace and mercy when He says yes. Like I say, when He says yes, it's 100%. So those are the success rates in a good lab. A good lab will give you 40% from an IVF. But an IVF is also when you are taking egg and sperm, combining them in the lab, and then putting an embryo back into the uterus, because you're not saying egg and sperm now find each other and make this happen. Because another type of treatment is called an intrauterine insemination. And what we do there is the woman's egg is produced either naturally, or we have given her medication to make the egg grow. In the middle of the cycle, when we see the egg is ready, beg your pardon, then we take sperm, we wash it in a very particular way, and we take the good sperm and put them at the top of the uterus, not in the vagina where it would normally be. So sperm that's swimming slowly, numbers that are too low, normal numbers are too low, we optimize it by getting the best of the batch of sperm and putting it in a place that's closer to the tube. So we put it up at the top of the uterus. I like drawing. If I could, I would be drawing. But we put it at the top of the uterus so that it can get to the sperm. So from that point of view, that's intrauterine insemination.
Doctor, I'm going to have to unfortunately stop you here due to time. And, as I'm listening to you, you're breaking down so beautifully that as laymen can understand. I'm wishing you could have been my biology teacher, or even, perhaps I would have went into medicine. But alhamdulillah, such beautiful explanation. As I say, you're coming on board with a wealth of knowledge, and you're sharing and imparting that with us. And we really appreciate it. And we're definitely going to chat with you, because you have so much more to share with us. And I think so much more hope that you can give women and you can give couples, because there's also the psychological and emotional aspect to that as well. So inshallah, we will touch base with you again. We do appreciate your time, taking it out from your very busy schedule. Allah Azza wa Jalla reward you abundantly. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A beautiful soul indeed. Dr. Razina Patel telling us and sharing information about fertility. Remember, hope isn't lost so much. So do your bit. That's the thing. Do your bit. Do the therapy. Tawakkul. That's all part of tying your camel. You still have to take action, tie your camel, and have trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. Time for the 11 a.m. news. I'll be back thereafter. Stay tuned.
Audio stream across the world on radioalansar.co.za.